Good morning, LPES, and happy Friday feeling. This week's Friday feeling, we're going to be talking a lot about what is happening next week at our school. Next week at our school, we are celebrating something that we like to call Mindfulness at LPES. Now, our Mindfulness at LPES week is kind of a combination of two other holidays or two other weeks-long celebrations that are happening in the month of October. Next week, across New Jersey, I believe, we have a week-long celebration called School Violence Awareness Week. Whew! It's quite a mouthful, and basically it ties into our Week of Respect week that we talked about last week. So when we have our School Violence Awareness Week, we like to call it Mindfulness at LPES instead, just because it has a kind of nicer ring. The week after that, we also have Red Ribbon Week. And Red Ribbon Week is when we talk a lot about turning to other things instead of drugs, alcohol, cigarettes, vaping, things that are unhealthy for our bodies or our minds or our hearts, and turning to other things that can help us to feel a little bit better, a little bit more calm, even when those high emotions, those uncomfortable emotions can be happening. So you and I are actually going to go on a field trip right now. We're going to go outside of our school. And the reason that I wanted us to go outside is because today we're going to be talking a lot about healthy hobbies and healthy habits. And all next week, you're going to be hearing some announcements in the morning from our students on climate committee, maybe from a few other students as well. And these announcements are going to be talking a lot about the healthy hobbies and healthy habits we can have instead of turning to things like drugs, alcohol, cigarettes, vaping, like I was saying earlier. So one of the healthy healthy habits, I keep wanting to combine hobbies and habits together to make habbies. One of the healthy habits we can have is spending time outdoors. And as usual, I'm recording this on Thursday. You can see I'm in my LPES gear for our Panther Pride meeting that's happening this afternoon. And since I'm recording this on Thursday, it is kind of a dark and stormy kind of day. I think it's supposed to rain a lot later. And my goal for today was to try to get outside at least for a little bit, because being outside is definitely one of those healthy habits that helps us to feel better, helps us to feel more calm, helps us to feel more at peace. At least it certainly does for me. Now, one of the things that we like to talk about, especially around mindfulness at LPES time, is that everyone's healthy habits and hobbies are going to look different, right? What works for you and what helps you to feel nice and calm might be totally different for me. It might not really work for me, or vice versa. Maybe what Mrs. Heffler does to keep herself nice and calm doesn't really work for you. It just doesn't help you to feel super calm. And that's okay. But one of the things we are going to be doing today is talking about some exercises or some ways of changing our thinking that can hopefully help us to feel a little bit more in control, even when those big uncomfortable emotions are happening to us or near us. So as I'm walking to the front of our school, I'm just going to kind of find a quiet spot to settle down. It is actually really nice and warm out, even though it's so cold. Oh, I know where we're going to set up. It looks like someone put some beautiful decorations in front of our school. I don't know who it was, if it was maybe the PTO or Mrs. Bammer or somebody else entirely, but it looks really nice. So I'm going to set up right over here. Okay, thanks for being patient as I get myself all ready to go. We're going to borrow some things. Make a little outdoor classroom. Perfect. Okay. All right. Nice and fall themed. So, as I was saying, when we're talking about mindfulness doesn't mean we get rid of our thoughts. It doesn't mean we get rid of our emotions. It just makes us aware of those thoughts and emotions and makes us feel a little bit more okay about them happening. It makes us feel at peace with whatever emotions or thoughts might be running through our brain at all different hours of the day. But one way that we can calm those thoughts down and practice mindfulness is, of course, You know, I love this one. It's doing some deep breathing. And today we're going to try something we've never done on our Friday Feeling videos before. So I'm going to ask you to find a nice, comfortable, seated position. So you're sitting up nice and tall. Okay, your backs are straight, nice and quiet, wherever you might be. And we're going to start by taking a deep breath in through our nose. And you can let it out through your mouth. If it's easier for you to breathe a different way, if it's easier to do it all through your mouth, whatever works for you, no problem. Take a deep breath in and let it out. I want you to do what I just did there. I kind of scrunched my shoulders up a little bit. Let's scrunch them up, give them a little squeeze, and then relax them too, so our body's feeling nice and calm. I'm going to put on a timer for about 1 minute. Let me see. Perfect. I can use my watch. So I'm going to give us 1 minute. In this minute, what I want you to do is I want you to count your breathing. So every time you breathe in, that's 1. Every time you breathe out, that's 2. You breathe in, 3, out, 4. When you get to 10, you're going to start over again. So if I'm doing mine and I get to 9, 10, I'm not going to go on to 11. I'm going to reset the counter in my mind and go to 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. What this is going to do is it's actually going to help us work on our focusing skills. I know focusing is not always easy for all of us, especially in class. It can be kind of hard for us to stay focused. And by practicing this exercise, you're kind of training your brain to focus on one thing. You're training your brain to focus on that breath and to count at the same time. It makes it really hard for all those other thoughts to be popping into our head when we keep coming back to the counting. And if you find yourself getting lost, if suddenly you find yourself at 27 for your counts and you didn't reset to 10, that's okay. Just start over wherever you are. So like I said, I'm going to give us about a minute to do that. I'm going to play some nice peaceful music in the background. Okay. All right, whenever you're ready, you're going at your own pace. I'm going to ask you to either close your eyes or you can kind of find a point to focus on and just keep a nice soft gaze right in front of you. We have about a minute on the clock and you can go ahead and start your breathing counting now. Breathing in for 1, breathing out for 2. All right, hopefully you found that breathing exercise helpful for training our brain how to stay focused, training our brain on really paying attention to our breath. It's something that I know helps me. If I'm just asked to sit and to focus on my breathing, it's hard for my brain not to jump to a bunch of different topics. But when I'm given the task of counting those breaths, it kind of helps to keep me more on task, to keep me more focused on just that one thing. So hopefully that's something that might work for you. If not, that's okay too. But we're trying all these different things out so that you can find what works for you as the year goes on. There's one other thing I wanted to talk to you about today before I play a little video for our healthy habits and healthy hobbies that we've been talking about and we'll talk about more next week. The other thing I want to talk to you about is this idea that I just came across and I loved it. It is the idea, this kind of picture that we can have in our mind of a pond. Okay, so we all know a pond is a little body of water. It's almost like a lake, but a little bit smaller. And sometimes in ponds, there are different kinds of animals, mostly fish, maybe some frogs, maybe some other things. But I want you to think of yourself as a pond. And the water of your pond is nice and still. It is flat. There's no waves in a pond. There's no splashes from people cannonballing in. There's no ripples even. It's just a nice, smooth, quiet surface of water. And underneath that surface, in the water, there could be all different fish swimming about. But those fish aren't big enough, aren't strong enough to make waves in the water. And each one of those fish is like a different emotion for you. We can be filled with the feeling of anger. We can be filled with the feeling of happiness. We can be filled with the feeling of sadness or of joy or of calm. It doesn't matter what fish you have in your pond at that exact moment. It's going to change all the time. It doesn't matter what feelings you have inside. You can still choose. You can still try to remain calm and still like that pond. That is what mindfulness is, my friends. It is feeling those emotions, experiencing them, but not letting them cause you to be a stormy, wavy, messy body of water. You're not turning into the ocean in the middle of a storm. You're keeping that calmness of the top of that pond, even with all those other emotions swimming around inside. Speaking of storms, it has just started to rain. So I'm going to kind of reverse how we normally do things. I always say goodbye at the end, but for right now, because it's raining, I want to get myself inside and get my computer out of this rain. So I'm going to sign off to you now, my friends, but you have a video right after this that's going to play that is all about healthy habits and healthy hobbies that you can try to do to practice in your life instead of turning to those other things that are unhealthy for us, like drugs, alcohol, vaping, and cigarettes. So I hope that today was helpful. I hope you enjoy the next video. And as always, stay kind, LPES.
Being healthy is something we're always encouraged to do. But how can we be healthy? It all starts with creating healthy habits. Healthy habits can make you feel stronger and happier. Think of your body and mind like a car. A car needs good quality fuel to run well. You can't put in soft drink and expect it to run smoothly, can you? Just like a car, you need to fuel your body and mind with really good, nourishing foods, thoughts, and actions that will make it function well. But what's a habit? A habit is created when you do something repeatedly until it becomes natural. Having healthy habits can help you to feel strong, create good relationships with people around you, help you concentrate better in class, and give you the daily boost you need to do all the things you love. One of the most important healthy habits to have is healthy eating. Healthy eating is all about feeding your body fresh and nutritious foods. This should include colourful vegetables, fruits and nuts, grains, legumes, dairy, and lean meats and fish. Even though all these foods are good for us, there are still some that we should eat lots of, and some we should limit. We should eat lots of vegetables, legumes, and grains. But we should eat lean meats, dairy, and fruits and nuts in moderate amounts, which means not heaps and heaps. There are some foods that should only be a sometimes treat because they're not very good for us and have very little nutritional value. like sugary or fatty foods and drinks. And of course, we should drink plenty of water every single day. When you combine healthy foods with physical activity, it will help you to feel healthy. Did you know children your age should be active for at least 60 minutes a day? Another healthy habit is getting lots of sleep. Sleep allows us to restore, repair, and rebuild all of the things in our body, including our brain. Make sure you're getting 10 hours of sleep a night, and you'll find yourself feeling fresh and ready to make the most out of every day. Here are 4 ways you can build healthy habits. Eat the fruit and vegetable rainbow. Even though you may not be in charge of the grocery shopping, you can always make your own healthy choices. Maybe you could choose to drink water instead of a soft drink or juice when you feel thirsty. Buy a piece of fruit instead of sweets from the canteen. Or have some salad with dinner. Simple choices like that can make a huge difference to your health. Eating a variety of fruits and vegetables that are full of different colours is super important because they all help your body in different ways. So, try and have as many colours as you can every day. Sleep well. Nothing should interfere with your sleep. Not even your homework should keep you up longer than you need to be. So, make sure you plan your time well so you can complete it before bed. Try to keep a good bedtime routine. Going to bed at the same time each night is great for your body and can make going to sleep easier. Keep any phones, tablets, and other devices out of your bedroom when it's bedtime. Make your bedroom a place that feels relaxing to you. This means it should be comfortable, quiet, and dark when it's time to sleep. Get active. It doesn't require you to change your entire day. In fact, it's really easy and you might not even realize you're doing it. Playing at lunchtime, school sports, riding your bike, or even going for a swim are all examples of exercise that can make up your 60 minutes. If you can minimize the time you spend in front of a screen, you might find yourself spending more time with your friends and moving around. Last but not least, find a balance. Going to extremes, whether it's with your diet, exercise, or sleep, isn't necessary. You can enjoy a bit of everything. So, find a healthy balance of sleep, play, food, water, school, and social time. When you combine healthy eating, physical activity, plenty of sleep, and lots of water, you will have the power and energy to be your best. Plus, you'll discover that as you get older, you'll need these healthy habits because they're important no matter how old you are. So, why not start now?